current rate, it will take us 132 more years to bridge the gender gap, as per a report from World Economic Forum. I am here with another episode of She Powers Progress Conversation series coming to you live from the World Economic Forum in Davos. I'm very pleased to have Yvonne Garcia with me, who is Chief of Staff to the Chairman and CEO of State Street, handles global internal communications, and also the head of Global CEO program at State Street. So nice to have you here with me, Yvonne.
Thank you for including. It's great.
Yes, it is amazing. You heard me introducing, like, it will take 132 years to bridge the gender gap. What hope do you have for women in finance and technology?
Yeah, it's a very scary statistic, and it's been a lot of conversation taking place in Davos around that. Companies really need to focus on ensuring that their pipeline is fitted for more women to go into leadership roles. A lot of progress has been made, particularly in my industry, but there's more to do. And when you look at the statistics, although women make up 50% of the workforce, a lot of those positions aren't at the senior level. Those are the levels that drive impact and where more representation is needed.
Well, you represent a Fortune 500 C-level executive from this business world. What kind of barriers did you face, or any advice for women who's looking to break that glass ceiling? Like, what do we do?
And when I think about barriers, I think about I think of it with the glass half full, and what have I been afforded that has given me the pathway to continue to grow in my career. And I would say the importance around sponsorship and mentorship for women, I cannot stress enough. I have had the fortune to have many great male allies as well as women allies in my career that have helped me progress, that have sponsored me throughout different levels of my career. And that makes a huge difference. When someone is advocating on your behalf in the room that you're not in, it allows you to continue to grow your brand within the organization, and also taking on stretch jobs, roles that the night before you get up, you're saying, how am I ever going to be able to do this? But those are the opportunities that allow you to grow. So being really proactive with your career development, taking your career development in your own hands. Putting a blueprint ahead, saying, this is where I would like to be in 5, 10 years, and then trying to map out what skill sets you need to get there. Continuous learning is key. I am extremely self-aware, so I'm always assessing what is it that I need to hone in on to improve. What tool set do I need on my resume to be able to remain relevant and be able to afford me the positions that I aspire to achieve in my future.
Yeah, like knowing your spark, right? Like, just, that's the starting point. But then, figuring it out, what kind of skills and upskilling I need, and allies, and don't stick to just formal mentorship program, but just in day to day, like, I'm learning a lot from you right now. So, it's like allyship, and there is no gender when it comes to allyship. So that's a profound thought, Yvonne. Tell me more about mentorship. There are 70% women who are surveyed actually say that they lack role models from senior leadership executive roles. So how do we spotlight more role models? How do we create opportunities for people to learn without much, formal structures around mentoring? Like, it should be like just integrated with your day-to-day work life.
I completely agree. I personally um, love the idea of the informal role modeling. I observe a lot, so I observe leaders, what they do that I would like to introduce into my own repertoire, and also what I would like to avoid. So I observe the good and the bad, and I try to learn from them. It's a very personal relationship, right? It's not forced to
Yeah.
your opinion here. It is something that needs to come naturally. There needs to be chemistry, because at the end of the day, sponsorships and mentorship should be a two-way street. Regardless if the individual is a senior executive, a more senior to you, he or she can also learn from you. So I see mentorship and sponsorship as a relationship between two individuals where both benefit from it, both learn from it, and that individual is constantly advocating for you and opening doors. And it's not a free ticket to success. You need to put in the work. You need to, when they do open the door for you, you need to be able to represent yourself in a way that is attractive to whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. So, strong work ethic is key, and just continue. And something that I think is comes really natural to many people, but just be authentic. Being a good listener, being a good person, goes a long way. We're surrounded by many intellectual individuals, by all the Ivy Leagues and across the globe. But the leaders that are differentiate the most are the ones that are authentic, that genuinely care about their talent, about their people, and about the organization.
In fact, like my personal experiences, I've enjoyed and sort of like loved working with leaders who've been very humble
Yes.
in their approach. And the more senior they get in their positions, that humility reflects even more of their leadership character. So that's amazing. And, we talked about the women at senior leadership roles, but it is also equally important to infuse Gen Z now into the workforce. So you balance the pipeline, like, well, the workforce is committed to to develop women into more senior roles, but also give opportunities to girls who probably are not thinking of STEM or a career in technology. So once you have the platform and the voice, how do you give back and bring more women together? How do you do this, Yvonne?
So I mentor a lot.
Yeah.
I lead and have led nonprofits that focus on um, business development for students and young professionals. So it's really giving back by educating the generation that's coming up the ladder, by helping them get internships, mentoring them on which careers to choose based on their aspirations, on their interests, on perhaps what they studied. So it truly is just making the time for that generation, opening doors for them, introducing them to other leaders, and teaching them the importance of building a network, not just within their own silo, but across the board. Today, leaders are expected to be well-rounded, and so should your network. It's one of my favorite parts of my hobbies is mentoring. I tend to spend a lot of my time working with the younger generation and hoping to inspire and get them excited about them because we need them.
We need them and we need you, people like you, mentoring so much. And you've been the chairman of the largest Latino nonprofit organization. And that brings me to discuss, underrepresented communities. And in this kind of digitally connected global world, what inspired you to start something like that?
So I will say that my I've always had a philanthropic part of who I am. My parents really instilled that. And their philanthropic duties came in a very different way. They were the first, in their family to move to the United States, 50 something years ago, and they opened doors for family and friends that wanted to learn English or get a job in the United States. So I was observing how they were getting back in their own way. So when I was able to do the same, I was the chairman. I volunteered at Alpha, so the largest Latino professional organization in the United States. I did everything from running events membership to eventually being their chairman. It is the best feeling in the world to know that in some shape or form, I've been able to play a role with thousands of my colleagues, some who are actually here in Davos with me, and giving back to our community, helping build the future Latino business leaders of the world. It also is, I will say, um, for your own career in corporate America, is such a benefit to volunteer in nonprofits. You teach yourself, I call it influence without authority. You are driving a volunteer force of over thousands of people, and somehow they want to work towards that mission just as hard as they work for their pay jobs, but because they believe in the mission, because they believe in the leadership, because they see the impact that they are able to drive. And that skill set, bringing it over to corporate America is priceless. In the global matrix environment that we work in today, where people don't necessarily report into you, but yet you need to help them. Yeah, they are part of some of the objectives that you're trying to achieve. Serving in the nonprofit space has really given me a lot of great skill sets that I've been able to transfer
That
in that.
corporate America. Talking of corporate America, you're also leading such a large function and, handling communications, change management, 40,000 employees, State Street. By the way, HCL Tech works with Style Data Street. Spotlight some of the best practices on DEI, inclusion, what kind of things State Street is doing to empower more women and just create a more diverse workforce.
I mean, stage it is part of our business priorities. When you think of the different pillars of ID&E at Stage Street, right? It's around accountability. It's around ensuring our policies are at par. It is around representation, right? Making sure that we have the right pipeline. In the United States, we're focused particularly on Latinx and Black representation. It is around making sure that the learning and development is there, that we're holding our leaders accountable, right, for being inclusive, whether it's through training. And so it is just part of our DNA. It is built into all of our business objectives. It's not a silo or a side project. It is part of our value systems.
Amazing. And, you talked about value system. You talked about finding that spark, no shortcut to hard work and success. Find your mentor, allies, network, and give back. Then you have the voice and have the platform. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed talking to you.
I did as well. Thank you.
Thank you.